Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're calling from. Excuse me, and welcome to Introduction to ServiceNow Support. This is a global audience, and so we are so glad that you are here with us today. Before we get started here, I just wanted to just highlight this safe harbor notice. And what this simply means is that we will not provide any forward-looking statements. In other words, everything that we say today is as accurate as of today. So that's wanted to let you know that there. Also, if you're interested, I know that you found this webinar probably on our ServiceNow community, excuse me, but this is a series of hosted live events with our Live on ServiceNow. It's an interactive event series. If you want, you can go ahead and take a picture of the QR code, scan the QR code there. If you want to see other events that we have coming up, I will go ahead and pop this in the chat as well for you, so you can have that to reference later on. Just a few housekeeping activities here. So we will have a Q&A session at the end of this webinar. Also let you know that this webinar session is being recorded and will be posted and be available in our ServiceNow community. And we will be sending out a post-webinar survey, and we definitely appreciate your feedback. Well, with that being said, who's this guy that's been talking to you here for the last few minutes? My name is Marcus Gray, and I am a learning solutions and delivery lead, a trainer here within ServiceNow. And I've been with ServiceNow for about almost 4 years, working in our support organization. And I have the pleasure of hosting this event with one of my good friends and colleagues, Mr. Dean Schweiger. He is one of our senior directors in on one of our performance teams, and he's a global leader within our support organization. So, Dean, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Marcus? Thank you for the lovely introduction. Yeah, my name's Dean Schweiger. I'm based out of Orlando, Florida, where one of our biggest support centers are located, and you'll see that coming up in a slide shortly. I've been with ServiceNow, well, next week will be 10 years. So
Wow.
uh, been pretty much in support that whole time, working across different SMEs. And yeah, I absolutely love this program. I love this webinar. It's a great opportunity to talk to customers and let them know how, to get the best out of support, and especially using the Now portal.
Cool, cool. Well, so glad to have you, Dean. I think we've done a few of these sessions before, so this is exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Um, So for our audience out there, this is going to be a little interactive. And so what I'd like to do is I'm going to launch a poll here. And the question is, which role do you identify with? So I'm launching the poll right now. And so are you an administrator, you're a developer, are you a service owner, or you're a partner? Which role do you identify with? Righty. See the responses coming in here. And looks like so we have a good mix here actually.
Mm.
We have some administrators, okay, and some partners, developers, and service owners. This is great. The information that we're going to be covering here is going to be applicable to all of these roles. So looking forward to it. Welcome. Thank you so much. Go ahead and end the poll here. All righty. Okay, so here's our agenda, our roadmap. What are we going to cover today? We're going to introduce you to ServiceNow support, give you an opportunity to be able to understand our approach and how we approach support. We're going to spend a good amount of time of actually introducing you to the Now Support portal, and then we'll talk about what happens beyond self-service, and we'll wrap up with a Q&A. Dean, you ready to get started?
Let's roll, man. I love this. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about an introduction to ServiceNow support. In support here, we have a very unique structure where we combine our customer service support, our global cloud services, and our product development teams, and they're all part of this one unified engineering organization. Can you tell us, Dean, like, why does that matter, and what are the benefits to that approach?
Yeah, Marcus, there's several different benefits to this. The fact that all three groups actually have a common goal, It sort of removes any walls or barriers between the different organizations. So either our infrastructure teams and cloud services or our engineering teams and development are getting sort of word from the front lines of support, what's going on with customers. So yeah, the teams work very, very closely and seamlessly together. So as a result, all the approach here is that everyone's aligned to customers and the customer success. So yeah, it helps us reduce some PRBs, certainly the hotter PRBs, that we see on the front lines in support. We get that, seamlessly through to, our infrastructure or development teams. So we all report up into our CTO, and then from that, there's a number of SVPs and whatnot across the different parts of those organizations. So yeah, we're pretty, for a large organization under Unified Technology Group, we're pretty well aligned and pretty tight considering our size.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, speaking of size, right? We are a global organization with many, many, many support centers across the globe. Um, how are we able to really support our customers across the world?
Yeah, so look, you can see here a lot of dots, a lot of cities, 9 support centers across the different regions, and we look after both our commercial customers and regulated markets. I'm in the commercial space, and I'm based in Orlando. So the benefit of this is, where our customers aligned is where our engineers and support managers can be aligned. Where we've got those more difficult cases, we can FTS, which I think we're going to talk about shortly.
Yes, FTS. So the common acronym around here, particularly within support, the FTS is our follow the sun model. Tell us a little bit about this model, Dean.
Yeah, look, I'm a fan of it. Man, it helps our engineers be aligned to our customers during their business hours, and it allows us to have 24/7 support, 365 days a year. And we hand over between our teams. We've got some comprehensive procedures and how we do that. So yeah, I mean, it allows work-life balance for our staff as well, and it also gives customers reassurance and comfort that even though they may end the day, if we've got a P1 or a P2 or a higher escalated case, if required, depending on the circumstance, we're following that investigation throughout the evening and aiming and hoping to get answers for customers the next morning. So just because the customer's gone to bed, we don't. We'll pass these cases through the regions as required.
Absolutely. Just that continuous support. Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool, cool. So understanding our approach, right? There are a lot of things that we do in support to be able to assist and take care of our customers. But there are some things that actually kind of fall out of the purview of support. So can you kind of really describe for us, Dean, what kind of support we provide for our customers and what would be considered out scope and how can customers get support that way?
Sure. So in support or customer service and support, as our title goes, we try to focus on break fix as an organization. So um, anything that's out of box, that's broken and not working, general queries, things like that will help assist customers on. So that means anything that needs fixing on the platform or any application functionality is in scope, and that's what we'll work with customers on. What falls out of scope is a lot of implementation, platform functionality, testing, or any customizations that customers are developing on their platform. But I will say in some cases, there is a best efforts, but we do try to make customers aware that we may not be able to solve this problem, or we may need to get their original authors or developers or their partners involved. But for the most part, if customers are needing assistance in these areas, it's best that they reach out to their professional services team or go to the ServiceNow Now Create site.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. In addition to that, I know that some customers have, all customers actually have account executives. Can the account executives help them as well too?
Yeah, 100%. So, um, if you need to, or think you need to engage professional services or a partner, start with your account executive and go from there. They'll be able to get you in the right direction. But definitely, go check out that ServiceNow Create site. There you'll be able to get, guidance on, real life experiences, a lot of community pages and different perspective on methodologies and success packs and things like that other customers have done in the past on particular parts of the platform or applications that they're implementing.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. And I'll just kind of take this moment here. For those of you in the audience, feel free. We have a Q&A option there. Pop in any questions that come to mind as we're going through the presentation, because we'd like to address those at the end as well. So Dean, now we kind of know what we do, what we're responsible for. So there are 4 different support packages available to our customers that they can select from, but they each have a unique customer experience. Can you just kind of briefly highlight some of the differences between the packages, and also let us know what's actually consistent across all packages for all customers?
Sure. So the packages, as you can see here, they range from base to total. In the base coverage, focuses more heavily on self-service for customers that like that and prefer that. The support coverage from our support teams is limited to 5 by 12, 7 to 7, based on the customer's local time. In addition to the self-service, in base we've got guided, advanced, and total, where customers can have got access to that whole 24/7 coverage that we talked about the global map we had there earlier. But with the advanced and total packages, there's some additional things there around impact squads. These squads consist of having a customer success manager, a support account manager, and platform architect. So, regardless of that, all of our customers, the support package, when it comes to P1s, everyone's got 24/7 support when it comes to a P1 disruption or anything like that. So anyone on base, just wanted to make sure everyone understood that in a P1 situation, you're not waiting 5 by 12. We've got you 24/7 in those P1 circumstances.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I mean, availability is, key for our customers. And we definitely want to make sure that we ensure that uptime and availability for our customers and their pertinent issues. So awesome. Thank you. With that being said, out of those 4 packages, right, let's actually talk about response times and what can a customer expect when they engage support.
Sure. So as we move from base to total, you can see here on the table that the times adjust depending on the package. So with the advanced and total packages, you can see they're the quickest response times. And that kind of structures through the P1s, P2s, and P3s there, as you can see. Look, it's very important that customers do understand around these timings. The response time represents the actual first time that our engineer will grab the case, review the case, do some initial triage, and respond to you. It's not resolution times. So we do have some customers that get confused with that. So this is the initial time that we pick up your case. We're reviewing it, looking at what's being asked, and having a quick look at the system to see if there's any quick issues we're seeing, or in P3 cases there may be a really quick and easy KB that we can respond to straight away. So that's our SLA response times. And I see that Shiva Kumar is asking a question here around is it applicable for non-production? Yeah, we don't discriminate when it comes to production or sub-production. So regardless of what instance environment you're logging the case on, it's all the same. All these response times are the same.
Awesome. Thank you for the question. Cool. All righty. As we kind of go through the agenda here, we're really going to kind of get into the nuts and bolts here and talk about our Now Support Portal, right? And so Now Support Portal really is the best way for our customers to experience support in ServiceNow. And how do we get to the Now Support portal? The Now Support portal is our your one-stop shop for your self-service help, your support, instance and user management, and just so much more. But before we get into that, I do have another poll here. What I'd like to know is, out of the folks in the audience, how many of you actually self-service now or use self-service now? Do you love it? Nope, you never tried it. Or what is self-service? Okay.
No, I've got a mixed bag here.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. All righty. So the majority of our audience right now has not tried it. So this is really good. This is going to be a good introduction on what you can do there in self-service. Cool, cool, cool. All righty. And just post the results there. All righty. So how do we get to the self-service portal, the Now Support portal? What you want to do is in your browser, you can go to www.support.servicenow.com. And it's as simple as that. And so when you get there, what actually happens? You'll get here to what we call your Now Support homepage. And I will say this. If you need to ensure the security of your security and health of your instance, if you want to view information, schedule clones, activate plugins, password resets, this is your place. If you need to manage upgrades or keep your instances up to date, this is your place. If you need to manage cases and changes, users, key contacts, this is your place. And so I think it really goes without saying that this is your place. And I want to take also this opportunity to really just call out in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see this highlight here. It's KB article number. You'll see this throughout the presentation. And what that simply means is that there's additional information on a particular topic that's actually being covered on that slide. And all of these KBs will be included in the resource section of this deck, which will be posted on the Now community after the webinar. So let's actually get started here. So I'd like to just kind of focus on the instance dashboard. And you can simply get there by clicking on instances in the instance menu bar and selecting dashboard. Now, Dean, what are some of the activities that customers can do here?
Yeah, what I like about this page is that this allows customers to look at real-time status information, certainly around uptime or availability. Looking at current versions that their particular instances or environments are on, any scheduled upgrades that are coming up as part of our patching program, changes or any outstanding cases that are outstanding with your account. So using the actions tab, and then customers can then also take the actions that they may need to do against the particular instance as well.
Cool, cool. Anything you want to add here?
No, I think a lot of customers at ServiceNow pride themselves on being able to be self-sufficient and self-manage. So this is a great way to get familiar with your instance and answer some of the more basic things and basic administration functions that you can do to be self-sufficient in looking after your instance.
Cool. The other place I actually wanted to touch base here is on the Maintenance Center. Now, this is a dedicated place for our customers to view, track, and engage with their maintenance communications on the Now Support portal. So when you click on the existing records, right, what is some of the information that the Maintenance Center is going to be able to display?
Yeah, the Maintenance Center typically displays the most recent communication records for any maintenance that's up and coming on a customer's instance. I mentioned earlier the patching or upgrade program, any records relating to that, and any communication records that are outstanding that need customers' attention.
Yeah, and I'll actually make a note here. So there's case records, which actually begin with the CS acronym, but COM records begin with COMM. So it's just important to note that there is a differentiator between case records, change records, and COM records. Dean, why is this feature so important for our customers?
Yeah, look, the Maintenance Center allows our customers to stay in the loop of any recent communications or, again, communications paramount, letting you know what maintenance is coming up that we need you to be aware of. And this can be accessed directly from the Now Support homepage. It's an easy way to see communications that require any action for customers as well. And part of that, it allows them to ask questions and or acknowledge these important messages, so we know customers are aware of things that are happening that we want them to know about.
Pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah,
cool. Um,
that's also on the common record.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think we got a little bit of the lay of the land here, but let's actually talk about how customers can get the best out of their support experience using the self-service features. So to get there, when you're on your support landing page, you click on the Get Support, which will be in the upper right-hand corner. And once you click there, it's going to bring you to the Get Support landing page. And let's see where we begin here. Now, Dean, if I'm starting my support journey, and it sounds like a few people here on the call are starting their support journey, not having previous experience with the portal, where would you recommend I begin my exploration on the portal?
Yeah, first of all, if you are new, I'd go straight to the Get to Know Support area. Here, there's three main resources that will give you the information on how to get started. So clicking on each of these resources will bring out a side menu for any additional options.
Right. Yep.
And in the Getting Started section, what you'll learn here about Now Support is and how to get the access and how to also access the Now Support mobile app. What I like about this section, Marcus, is that Now Support is the Now Support checklist that we have for onboarding customers. So you can check off any key tasks that will help you ramp up and get onboarded with Now Support, get your users onboarded with Now Support. In fact, some of the checklist items will be covered in the session a little bit later. With regards to the using Now Support section, we focus on each of the key roles that can use Support Now from an administrator to a partner. So those roles determine who can do certain things on behalf of your organization. Lastly is the My ServiceNow section. This is one of those places where you can manage your own profile, account preferences, and things like that.
That is awesome. I think it goes without saying on that using Now Support section here, when we did a poll earlier for the roles that we identified with, I think we had a good myriad of different roles present here on the call. So I just like to just kind of highlight that if you following one of those roles, that there are specific tasks that'll help you be able to get started in using the portal. This is great. So I think it's safe to say, or safe to assume, I should say, that our customers know what a knowledge base is. Like it's a collection of easily discovered knowledge articles that cover various topics connected to the platform. But what I think is equally, if not more important, is actually how we here at ServiceNow use our knowledge base. So let's start with access. How can customers search our knowledge base?
So customers can use the search box under the how can we help function there. They can ask a question or do a keyword search. You can view the entire knowledge database by following the links in the lower right-hand corners. But not only does this search our knowledge bases, but it also searches product documentation, community posts on the search criteria that the users put in.
So here at ServiceNow, how do we manage our knowledge base?
Yeah, so we use KCS, or some folks may know that as knowledge-centered support, to manage our KBs and our knowledge databases for our customers. So this means that our engineers are actually updating the content where to make sure it's relevant, and where they investigate a case and they find that we didn't actually have a knowledge article on how to resolve that, we will actually go ahead and create that, make sure that they're updated appropriately and they're accurate. So we do peer reviews and things like that. So as we find that there's gaps in our knowledge, we get it out there as quickly as possible. Again, coming back to that sort of community or culture that our customers have, that they like to be self-serving.
Now, what is the benefit for our customers with using this approach, actually?
Yeah, look, the fact that the articles are regularly refreshed, with the newest and most accurate information, we do some reporting to see where particular knowledge articles aren't getting enough hits, or they're not relevant anymore. And if they're no longer relevant, we'll archive and things like that. So we do have a team dedicated to this. So what you see there is pretty comprehensive. And again, I'm going to reiterate the fact that when you do a search, it's not just on the KBs, it goes across the product documentation and the community. So it just brings in a wealth of knowledge from all different areas.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, kind of back to our landing page. Now, on the left hand side, there are a list of frequently used resources. We're going to spend the next few moments here just kind of really exploring these resources, starting with the patching and upgrades. Um, the patching and upgrades really are, a major task for our customers. Together, they really enable our customers to get the most of the value out of their ServiceNow platform experience by really taking advantage of the innovation available in the new releases, the new families, and the latest security, performance, and functional fixes. Dean, what do you think are some other takeaways that customers can get from this particular section?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones, and controversial and confusing ones at times, is probably our patching program or end of life upgrades. There's fundamental information about patching and upgrades here. There's a number of things that can be learned. For instance, there's a video on how to actually upgrade an instance. This is where we describe the process, from planning to testing, communicating, and applying a ServiceNow instance upgrade. So, this information is also in our product documentation as well. What's also cool is that you can self-schedule your patching and upgrading from this page as well. So ServiceNow will determine or give notice of when end-of-life patching is coming up as part of the program. But we totally give you self-control to go and schedule those things yourself. So you can do that within your means of time before the scheduling that we've set up as part of our policies.
Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, Another section I want to talk about is the clones, right? So, what is a clone? Using system clone application really, it just allows our customers to copy everything from one instance to another. And it's usually done from a production instance to a pre-prod instance to test changes, kind of validate information. Um, Here we have a lot of information about clones, issues related to the clone issues, articles, and stuff like so forth like that. Dean, tell us, like, what happens if I want to know more about how a clone works?
Yeah, look, I sound like I'm really campaigning the knowledge base here, but look, that KB number that you've got there, Marcus, that's our clone basics KB. That's where you're going to get the most fundamental information and basics about how clones work, different cloning options, how we do rollbacks, any particular data server configuration that's required, and a whole bunch more. So if you're new to all this, which again, this audience sounds like they're pretty new here, definitely go and check out that KB if you want to understand how clones work and how best practices and guidelines and things like that.
Now, what happens if I have an issue with the clone, or if I need to begin troubleshooting with a clone issue? Where would I go there?
Yeah, there's other KBs out there around clone FAQs, or I think sorry, it could well be within that KB. But in that FAQs, we've compiled a list full of frequently asked clone questions. Asked that we can always get asked by customers here in support. So there's a whole bunch of clone tips and tricks. Best practices on learning how to use the clone process.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. Um, the next section I want to cover is the instance management section, where we have management activities that I will say some of which should be performed with caution. What are some of those activities, Dean?
Yeah, look, it include retiring instances, renaming, restoring. For example, you may no longer want the need for an instance, or you may want to revert back to a certain point in time. You can do all that here.
Awesome. A couple other things to note here, right? Some of these actions, these are all automated actions.
Yep.
So in other words, once you submit them, they will get processed. And again, some of those activities can only be performed on non-production instances, i.e., restoring instances or Z-booting. But speaking of which, what's Z-booting, Dean?
Yeah, certainly not something we want to do on a production instance. So we don't allow customers to do that. There is quite a rigorous process. The very, very, very rare occasion we need to do that. So Z-boot is pretty much, restore factory settings. So if you need to completely reset your instance and have a brand new out of the box configuration where all your customizations and configurations are going to be wiped away. So it's pretty much that restore factory settings that you'd have on your mobile phone or your laptop, something like that, but your ServiceNow instance.
Got it. So there's another feature I'd like to highlight here, and this is the instance troubleshooter. What is that, and why is that important?
The instance troubleshooter app it enables sysadmins, administrators to troubleshoot and resolve issues directly with their production or sub-production instances, all without the need to reach out to customer support.
And how does it actually work?
So the application, it runs some diagnostic checks on some of the more common configurations related to a number of different products or services on the platform. The findings are then shown on a summary screen along with recommendations to customers on how to actually go ahead and fix them. So the action can be taken to implement the fixes and verify the resolution of the actual issue. So if the issue is not fixed, though, with the provided information that the application provides, you can use the troubleshooting summary results and then, if needed, open up a case with Now support, which will go through to our engineers.
Cool. Definitely something that I think will be helpful for our administrators on the call.
Yeah, again, it all comes back to that self-service.
Absolutely. So in addition to, our knowledge base, our known error portal is really a handy repository of known errors on the platform that have either been found or reported. Then why is this a valuable tool for our customers?
Yeah, look, we like to push this and be very transparent with the known errors. It's very important because with these known error articles, it describes to the customers any potential causes of issues that they're seeing within the system. But more importantly, if we know the steps to reproduce that, the customers can validate against that. And certainly, while we're waiting on a PRB or a bug fix to be applied to a later family or a later release, if there is an actual workaround that can be implemented, we'll have details in that known error article and steps for customers on how to actually apply the workarounds until there's a permanent fix available in a later family release or patch. What we do need to keep in mind, though, that not all the known errors will affect all users. So that's why you can automatically show known errors for your production release or simply browse known errors that you subscribe to.
That's cool. I know this is a really valuable tool for our customers, and we're continuing to improve it, update it, up level it, just to improve the overall experience for our customers. All righty. We talked about a little bit of automation. Let's just really focus in really quickly on the service catalog, which is really a critical part of the platform that really allows our customers to dive in and take action of their own, often without the help of the engineer. What are some of those top self-service requests? Can you just name a few?
Yeah, look, a few that come top of mind is, and probably one of the more common ones is activating a plugin requests. So plugins are how we manage those extra features on the platforms. So most plugins can be activated directly from the customer's instance. For any plugins that don't show up on the list, on the plugins list on the instance, you can request on the Now Support portal to ask for an activation. Another common one, especially when I was working in our integrations team that deals with a lot of network issues, is the My IP information. So because ServiceNow can be integrated with so many other, third-party endpoints and systems, either inside your company network or, with some of your service providers, you may need to know the actual IP address that will be sending or receiving any particular traffic. So, for example, your network administrators may need to add these IP addresses to, a firewall whitelist or something like that. So what's cool about this is this catalog is that we use our own workflows to automate the processes, so that can run your own queries and run your own catalog items there on the most common requests, without having to talk to an engineer or reach out via a case or anything like that. So if you want to see all these automations that we offer, select the View All, which will take you to the entire catalog.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. One other feature here that I think is really important for our customers and our partner administrators is really maintaining company contact information, keeping that accurate and keeping it up to date. So this section really provides various account management activities that administrators can perform. Dean, why is this important?
Yeah, look, just speaking from personal experience, we're in cases where if we were trying to chase customers or trying to and let you know about something important, we actually, our managers, our engineers, our senior leaders, we actually go and look at that information. So company contacts are absolutely critical, not just for communications coming from ServiceNow, but when we need to follow you up on any, issues that we see or assistance we need, on a case and things like that. So, for example, company contacts are notified by email. So if there's a mass outage or an issue affecting your company instance, we want to make sure that those communications are getting to the right people. So pro tip is that we strongly recommend that you have at least a minimum of 2 Now Support administrators in your account at all times. That in the event that one person's on leave or unavailable or something like that, we like to ensure that there's no disruption to any management of your instances in the portal.
What would you say is the impact of not having updated contacts?
Yeah, look, you're going to miss out on those important informations, particularly around those mass outage situations. So we want to make sure customers know what's happening on their platform, based on the alerting and things that we have in place.
And where do I actually go to manage my contacts?
Yeah. So if you click on the drop down next to your name, then you select manage account and users. So this will then show you all of your users, and then to actually add, remove, or update your contacts. You then click on the account contacts. Now from here, you can manage, who are your admins, who are your business contacts, your support contacts, your technical and security contacts. Security contacts is another important one. If we see we have a security case and we need to talk to someone in your CSIO or something like that, very important to keep that up to date. So even more, you can see details here of your support account manager and your account executive as well. So these are some key contacts within our organization that are very closely partnered with yours.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So as we kind of round out our tour here, the Now Support portal, I want to call out 2 additional resources that really can help our customers. The first is our video tutorials. So did you know that customers have direct access to our Now Support YouTube channel right inside their portal? And what's even cooler about that is that the latest videos are loaded automatically for you, so you never have to worry about missing out. Dean, what can our Now Support YouTube page do for our customers?
Look, this is our official destination for Now Support product documentation. This channel is going to help you get started with products and features. It's going to help you understand concepts, processes, and learn how to perform complex tasks on the platform as well. So content's always getting uploaded. amended. So yeah, another great resource for customers. Me personally, I hate reading through documentation. I like pictures. So, going to videos and getting those quick wins and then having the subsequent documentation should I need it. I mean, that for me personally is awesome. So yeah, go check out that resource.
And in fact, I did pop the link to our YouTube channel in the chat there for those of you that are watching. Alrighty, the other resource that I wanted to call out is our ServiceNow community. So you may know that they always say that two is better than one. So this is why really our community is very important, and our ServiceNow, really here at ServiceNow and in our community, we have over 455,000 active users across the globe. That is a huge, huge community, right? And coming together, everybody really plays a large role in the overall experience. Dean, what are some of the highlights and benefits of using our community?
Yeah, the ServiceNow community. I mean, I've been saying it all the way through this webinar. Customers love being self-sufficient, but then they also love sharing their experiences and knowledge and things like that. So this is a great resource to go and find answers in different forums, different product hubs. Connect with peers. There's different events in different cities and regions. Learn from blogs and articles related to products and solutions. So whether you're a customer, you're a developer, you're a prospective employee, or a fan of the brand, that this community is for you. I was a customer prior to joining ServiceNow, and I use this thing all the time. If there was a particular part of the product that nobody in my particular region was playing with, I went to other regions and got the things I needed to get started. So super, super helpful tool.
So during our recent refresh of the community website, we actually introduced what we call product hubs. And these are highly curated collections of really the most relevant information and important content that you're going to need on your implementation journey. So we've actually broken this out into 4 stages that most customers, we believe, go through. And that's getting ready, configuration, go live, and optimization, and being able to do more. By the way, we still do have forums for every single product, just in case you don't get your questions answered. So I really believe that, if you would agree with me, Dean, that the community is a place that customers can really, tap in to, other resources beyond the self-service, where folks are not even just other customers, but even support engineers. Our support organization participates in the community as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. We encourage our engineers to get in there as much as possible when they're not solving cases. The other thing I'd highly recommend is go have a look at the Snugs or the ServiceNow user groups in your area. Again, when I was a customer 10 years ago, this was so valuable, and meeting and greeting other people and understanding how they're using the product, getting tips and tricks, and everyone was more than happy to share information and knowledge, and that's what I love about the community most.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. One last poll here for the group here. Now that we've covered a lot of the self-serving options here and all the features, my last question for you all is, what feature are you most excited to try? Is it the knowledge base, service catalog, video tutorial, ServiceNow community, or all of the above? All righty, good stuff. So it sounds like most people want to try all of the above. Pretty
Eat it
cool.
all up.
I love it. Awesome. All righty. So let's just talk about beyond self-service. And what I mean beyond self-service is what happens if you can't get your question answered via self-service, and you actually want to get engaged support. And we understand that not all issues will be resolved by self-service, but we do have engineers that are eager to help. Dean, when it comes to creating cases, what are the best practices that customers can follow?
Yeah, look, I think everyone on the call here, everyone's working in IT or has worked in IT. When it comes to logging cases and providing your vendor with support questions or issues, just be specific as possible, right? Include as much detail as possible. Any attachments, screenshots, error messages you're seeing, steps to reproduce. So let us know what steps were taken before you encountered the issue, so our engineers can try and replicate it themselves on a test instance and things like that. Going back to what we were talking about earlier around contacts, just make sure to add any teammates to the watch list on the case. So any others that who may be working on this problem with you, they can be kept up to date with the updates coming from our engineers. The other thing it's very important to capture as well is the business impact. So we can make sure that the case is prioritized appropriately to make sure that we're serving you based on the business impact. So when we're creating a case, I generally recommend, asking, some of these key questions like, what is the issue exactly? Is the issue occurring right now? Can this issue be reproduced in a sub-production environment? Does the issue only affect specific users or particular groups, or how many people are being impacted, coming back to the business impact, or does it impact everybody? And when was the issue first noticed? So keeping all that in mind, if you do need to get in contact with an engineer that's assigned to your case, I always recommend the customers is to pick up the phone and call us directly, especially if it's urgent. Some of our customers have built great relationships with their account executive or their SAMs, but I strongly encourage customers to call the 1-800 numbers that we have around the world. Reaching out to the account team or your support account manager on a case is most likely you're just going to cause some delay. Best to talk to the team who's actually resolving things for you. And I'd save that ACE card where you do want to, talk to an account executive about your case. Save that for maybe an escalation when, unfortunately, escalations happen where we may drop the ball from time to time. If we're not doing our job properly, please do that. But in the first case, please call us. Our phone systems are rigged and programmed or configured to go to the assigned engineer if they're online and available. Failing that, it'll route to somebody else in their team. So please pick up the phone, talk to us, especially when it's urgent.
Absolutely. Great insights on really submitting a case here. Just really quickly, walk us through what happens after a case is received by support. What does a typical case flow actually look like?
Yeah, so when a new case comes in as created through the portal, it could also be, we haven't got it here, but it could be from our alerting systems as well, where we'll send it straight to ourselves. But once the case is created, our machine learning engine looks at the case details and information provided and does its best to get it to the right team. So we have a number of different SME areas within support. Marcus mentioned that I'm in the performance team. That's one particular SME. So based on the information provided and all the drop downs and things selected as part of the IRP, it'll go through to the appropriate team. Look, if it is a complex issue, what does happen is, what I should point out first of all is the engineer will work the case, and I want to emphasize that our engineers aren't sort of first level help desk folks. Like, they're actually developers, system administrators, DBAs that have got those extra, soft skills to work with customers, not hidden in a data center somewhere. So our engineers are highly skilled, and with the knowledge bases and all the training that we have, there's a good chance that they'll fix this case themselves and move it to solution proposed. However, coming back to the complex cases, there are, the platform's getting more and more complex, and customers are using our platform in some funky ways. So in those cases, we will collaborate with each other in different teams. So I mentioned I'm in performance. Well, let's say there's a slow API or something like that happening, or a slow import set. My team will work with the integrations team. So that's how we're kind of talking about collaborating with second level SMEs and things like that. So we work with each other with that. in those super difficult ones, we will, coming back to one of our first slides about our whole unified technology group, we will go and directly access any of our infrastructure teams, development teams, product development, networking, all those appropriate teams. So even though we're engaging all those teams, our engineer is the main contact, and they're going to be the primary contact for you through that process. So that's pretty much at a very high level how our case workflow works, Marcus.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad you highlighted the fact that bringing back that unified engineering approach.
100%.
The last thing I want to touch base on before we wrap up here, we always say that feedback is a gift. And here at Support, we love to get feedback from the cases that have been closed out. Can you talk to us really briefly about how important surveys are to support and how we use that feedback?
Yeah, this is a topic actually quite near and dear to my heart because, without the customer's feedback, we're never going to improve and do better. But I mean that's sort of making assumptions that the only feedback we get is negative or where there's coaching opportunities. But here at ServiceNow, our managers read through all the surveys. We do have a process where if we do get a not so flattering survey response, we have a process in place that will make sure that managers review this and will most likely reach out to you for more information or at least discuss what actions they're taking. But more importantly, it's the good stuff as well. We want to hear about that because quite honestly, we use that feedback in our daily stand-ups with our engineers. So folks can see, what are the right behaviors and the positive behaviors that our customers are loving that, result in a great positive customer experience. So please keep that feedback coming. We do use it. The survey will ask you about the quality of the service, but it also asks you some questions around the platform as well. So, were you satisfied? Did the assisted engineer understand your actual issue? Was the response timely? And more importantly, was your actual issue resolved? So please, when you see these surveys come through, we do use them, and we only use this to, continue our quality of service and serve you better.
Awesome. So that is great. Dean, we covered a lot today, and we just have a few minutes left here. So two things I want to mention here, just the key takeaways. So for me, three things that actually stood out was this: one, use the Now Support Portal. It's a robust selection of self-help options to help you get the support that you need, I should say. Number two, join the community. It's a resource. Like I said, we have 455,000 active users on there. So please be a part of that experience. And then lastly, when you create a case, make sure we're thorough, and because we love details. In fact, it helps everyone. In other words, help us help you. I do want to share that we do have some helpful resources, all the topics that we covered today in today's session. Those key KBs are available in this particular deck, already hyperlinked and available for you. As I mentioned, the deck will be posted on our ServiceNow community where you found this webinar. All righty. I do want to just open up the floor. Does anybody, I don't see any live questions in the Q&A, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to post those in the Q&A here. So I'll wait a little bit to see if anybody has any questions. As people may be thinking of questions, I just want to leave you with a few reminders here. Number one, register for our ServiceNow community, servicenow.com/community. Visit our support portal that you all learned about today, which is support.servicenow.com. And then also visit our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/user/ServiceNow demo. So thank you, Chris, for that comment. All righty. In the interest and the respect of people's times, if there are no more questions, I want to first thank you, Dean, for co-hosting with me. It's definitely been a pleasure. I want to thank all of you that have been attending this webinar session. I hope that you are able to learn something new and take something away. And from here at ServiceNow, we wish you the best in your journey here with support and with ServiceNow. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I hope that you have a great day. Take care.
Marcus.
You're the feeling I cannot deny. You're the fire that makes me come alive. It's a love that I can't hide. It's burning deep inside wherever I go.